Guys, today I'm going to explain chapter 2 of my novel, which is titled Whispers of Ice. But before we begin, let's quickly recall what happened in the previous chapter. In last chapter, we saw that after 2 years of long wait, Simon finally discovered the name of his first love and they began talking. Yet, on his best friend Belle's encouragement, Simon prepared to confess his feelings. He chose the graduation ceremony day for this milestone. However, his love, Senior J, failed to show up, leaving Simon heartbroken. He lamented that his first love remained unfulfilled and broke down, tears streaming down his face as he gazed at Senior J's picture. So let's start the chapter 4 and story goes back in time. A few months earlier before this day, it had been an ordinary day when Senior J had come to Simon's class to speak with the teacher. Seizing the moment, Simon had pretended to take selfie and instead secretly captured Jay's photo. He knew it was wrong, an invasion of privacy, but he was blinded by love. He was blinded by his greed, and that was the last time he ever saw Jay. After that day, Jay never visited college again. Story comes back in time. Snapping out of one memory, Simon fell right into another. He remembered the day he saw Senior J with a girl. The image had shattered him. He cried for hours, heartbroken, struggling to process the jealousy and pain. Again, he pulled himself out of the past and tried to reason with himself. Come on, Simon, he muttered. Senior J was just a crush, and one sided love, they are not meant to last. Simon was talking with himself. He said, do you ever see anyone in stories or movies ending up with their first love? No, because first love is just like that. First, not forever. His eyes drifted to corridor's window, the same one from where he used to secretly watch Jay's classroom. Another wave of memories hit him. He remembered how he had been peeking through the same window quietly just watching Jay, but that day his friend had caught him. What are you doing here, Simon? One of them asked, suspicious. Another girl in the group squinted towards the classroom. Why do you keep sneaking over to Senior J's class? And why do you keep staring at him like that? Is something going on between you? Another girl said, yeah, Simon, I have seen that too. You always watch him differently. Can you tell me what is going on? Simon had frozen in fear. The very idea of his secret being exposed was terrifying. In the kind of conservative society he lived in, being gay wasn't just difficult, it was dangerous. If Cat goes out of the box, it is going to be difficult for Simon, which means he cannot let his secret be revealed. So he did what he had to. He lied. Simon said, he is my sister's friend. Simon, quickly trying to sound casual, and said, she asked me to keep an eye on him. It was nothing, I'm just doing what my sister told me to do. And story comes back in time. This memory gave him a bitter smile on his face, and once again Simon found himself lost in his memories. Again in the same corridor, trying to catch a glimpse of Senior J through the classroom window, but this time J wasn't there. Disappointed, Simon turned around only to freeze in place. Senior J was right behind him. The shock of seeing him so suddenly left Simon completely frustrated. Panic gripped him. Without a second thought, he covered his face with his hand and bolted in opposite direction. As that memory came rushing back, Simon couldn't help but smile to himself in embarrassment. How foolish I used to be, he thought. Who acts like that in front of their first love? And one memory led to another. He recalled how every time he entered the classroom, Jay would quietly look at him. They never exchanged words, barely even spoke, but somehow their eyes always said enough. In those silent moments, entire conversation passed between them. Simon sank deeper into those bittersweet memories. 3 months before Simon's birthday, 3 months before the night of the confession. In the meantime, it had been 3 months since graduation ceremony, and Simon had long given up on hoping. He went to college each day without any real interest, simply out of habit. One morning, while walking to university, he passed by his favorite flower shop. Just then, fate played its card. Simon saw him. He saw him. Senior J. He was right there, just a few steps away. The moment Simon's eyes met Jay's, his breath caught. They were walking in opposite directions, yet neither of them moved. Simon stood rooted to the spot, frozen in time. J2. J2 had stopped and turned to face him. They stood across the road, separated by nothing but traffic. Simon was too shocked but also really excited. Still, Simon couldn't hold back. He shouted across the noise, "Senior J, what are you doing here?" Jay shouted back, "I live nearby." Simon couldn't believe it. His first love lived so close to him this entire time, and he never even knew it. At that time, Jay said something else, raising his voice again, but Simon couldn't hear him over the rush of vehicles. And just like that, they both continued on their separate ways. But from that day on, Simon made sure to pass by that road every morning, hoping, praying for another accidental meeting, but luck was never on his side. One morning, he stepped again by the flower shop and noticed a plant he hadn't seen before. Something about it drew him in. He asked the shopkeeper about it. "It's called the first love," shopkeeper said with a warm smile. Simon was stunned. The same place where, after losing all hope, he had seen his first love again, and now this. It felt like a sign. Without hesitation, he bought the plant and took it home with quiet affection, carrying with him a newfound hope blooming gently in his heart. And so the time moved on. And with this note, I am going to end this chapter. So, in this chapter, we saw after losing all hopes on his first love, Simon met his first love again in front of a flower shop. But again, this time he couldn't say much. And one morning, on the same flower shop where he met his first love again, after losing all hopes, he found a plant called the first love, and with new hopes Simon bought that plant, and time moved on. So guys, I hope you like this chapter, and see you in the next video. Please make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.